Welcome, welcome, welcome to Empowered Women in Business International Radio. I'm your host, Nicole Mosby Taylor, also known as Taylor K on the mic, and we have a wonderful show for you today. We have two amazing guests in our virtual studio, and we can't wait to share all about them. But first, let's do our quote. And our quote is, "You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you," by Dan Millman. You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. And you'll understand in a minute, once our guests appear, just why we chose that quote for today. So before we allow our guests to come on, I'm going to first just tell you a little bit about EWBI. Empowered Women in Business International serve a sisterhood of women entrepreneurs who understand that we can do great things, but that individually we can do great things, but collectively we can forever change the world. Members of our movement experience a support system that allows them to celebrate their wins and share their struggles in a series of opportunities that enhance them personally and professionally. If that sounds like an organization that you would like to be a part of, visit our website at www.ewbiradio.org. Again, that website is www.ewbiradio.org. So you are in for an amazing show. We're going to bring Miss Foster Dotson and Miss Green to the screen. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome. How was your weekend?
It was wonderful.
It was great.
Awesome. I had a wonderful weekend. I found out that I am going to have a grandson in October, so I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, ladies, well, let's start with Miss Foster Dotson. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, hi. My name is Shaquana Foster Dotson, and I am a clinical social worker in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm also a certified trauma professional. And currently, I just opened up a mental health outpatient center on York Road in Cold Spring. So thank you, ladies. Thank you. I was previously a private practice. But now, since I'm an OMHC, now I'm able to help more people in our community.
Awesome. And Miss Green, if you want to tell us about yourself.
Hey, well, I'm Miss Green. I am the mental motivator and the life strategist. I am the owner of the Wellness Purse, which is a coaching and consultant company. And what I do is I teach women about mental health and how it has definitely held us from being the best version of us. So what I teach women is how to manage areas of your life in order to get from distractions to directed. So I'm excited to be here with you ladies. Mental health is definitely real. I'm the author of the best-selling, #1 bestseller children's book called Pretty to be Dark Skinned. Talking about colorism and building, empowering young girls with self-esteem and self-love.
Awesome. And you're also an advocate for green mental health?
Oh, yes. Green Heart Community. Are you kidding me? Look at this, guys. May is the national month of mental health, and green is the color. Just happened to be my last name. So I think I was ordained to kind of do this.
Yeah.
Yes, I am so proud to be a part of that and the upcoming wonderful thing she has going on. So Green Heart Community, shout out.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, with this being May and mental health, I wanted us to have a conversation about mental health because I don't think that sometimes people understand the severity and the importance of mental health. So, and I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to respond. But Ms. Green, can you tell us why do you believe that mental health is important?
Well, mental health is so important because it stems back to one, to our past. I believe it goes way back, beyond slavery. But mental health, if we don't keep our mental health in this positive form, it tends to affect everything we do, every aspect of our body, from our brains, down to our feet. It affects relationships. It affects our jobs. And so it's just so important for us to continue to be advocates. Again, I'm so honored to be here with you ladies because we have to break the stigma of mental health, of what people think about it. And people are so afraid to talk to someone. And I believe everyone, even us professionals, should always have somebody to talk to.
Definitely, definitely. I think that's a very important piece that we'll try to address later on about the mental health professionals getting mental health as well. So now, Ms. Foster, we'll hear from you, Ms. Foster Dotson.
Yes. Well, first of all, Ms. Green did a wonderful job discussing the individualized portion of mental health. But also, we need to look at mental health and how it impacts our communities.
Mm.
Yes, especially communities of color. And what does that look like in our community when we deal with the crime that we see daily, the interactions between one another, the prosperity that's in our community or lack thereof.
Yeah.
I also, social workers, we not only just deal with individual problems regarding to mental health and resources, but we also deal with community organizing and community rebuilding and bringing resources in communities in order to help deal with some of the barriers regarding mental health and resources for families.
That's awesome.
Yes. So I love the way you covered it individually and as a community. You both covered it. So tell us when you look at a person that so first of all, we understand that hurt people hurt people. Okay. And so just listening to hurt people, how can you bring awareness to others? Not saying that we're giving them an out or excusing them for hurting people, but how can we bring awareness to others as to prompt people to get help? Because they're reaching out, they're crying out for help sometimes in their actions to other people.
Well, I'm sorry, you want me to go?
Go ahead, yeah. Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest things that when that quote that says hurt people, one thing that always sticks out to me is sometimes hurt people don't even know that they're hurting. So sometimes we operate from a place of trauma that we haven't even touched as humans. Also, we operate from a place of learned behavior because it happened to me, or that's how my mom did it, or that's how my father did it, or that's how my family reacts to things. That goes along with hurt people because sometimes I'm just not aware. So one of the things that we can do as a community is also being honest with people and being a true reflection and guiding people to mental health resources, right? Because the first step in receiving counseling is the ability to say, like, I'm here and I need help. One of the first questions we ask is, what brings you to therapy? Right? So helping people explore that trauma. And also sometimes trauma is not just always what we visually see and hear. Sometimes we have implicit trauma from memories from childhood. They are associated with our emotions. So just letting people, giving them a free space where they're able to talk about those things and also encouraging them to let them know that that's okay. So that's my biggest thing, like just making people aware of some of the things that they're doing and guiding them to the proper resources.
Awesome. Did you want to add anything, Miss Green?
Sure. I love what Miss Foster Dotson just said, because it's just so everything is about the awareness. No matter what we do, and over here where I'm at or where she's at, it's all about the awareness. And we really can't operate in the capacity that we can if you're not even aware. So along with that, the only thing I would add is making it available. We have to create these spaces, if you don't mind me saying, Miss Foster. We have to create these spaces for them to be able to come. We have to create the space for the education. We have to create these groups and these go into these communities, and we have to be creative of how we market it to them, and letting them know that it's okay. So the awareness just doesn't come from us just saying, yeah, it's okay. No, the awareness comes from us really, just how Colleen and Diane did. She lit up Baltimore and green. That's awareness. Like, whoa, green, lighten up Baltimore. We have to do it big, and we cannot stop.
Yes. And do you feel that mental health is sort of swept under the rug, so to speak?
I'm going to say absolutely. I think we, just my opinion, I believe that we sweep a lot of stuff under the rug. Mental health is just one of the biggest ones, and that's one of them that we shouldn't. We want to blame it on other stuff because we don't want to believe that it's real. And it's the stigma on the word, mental health. As soon as you hear that, what do you think of? Especially in our community, let me speak on that African American community. You crazy. So once you say that mental health, that means you're crazy. And 90% of us, if you are into a religion, you're going to throw that religion there because you want to make the excuse for it to go away. But it does not go away. And until we stop sweeping it under the rug, then we can really start talking about these things. Because what I believe, ladies, is that we're passing this on to generations and we don't even know it. We're passing these hurt on to our children. We're casting our fears onto our children because of our mental health from us being a kid, and we casting the fears onto them, and we don't even know that we're not allowing them to live their freest because of our fears. So I just believe it's so big, and I'm just excited to be here. I'm sorry if I sound like, because I really am. Talking about mental health feels like it's my life. So I think I'm right in the right place with you guys tonight.
No, it's so important. I'm glad that you are excited, and we need to get excited about having this conversation, because bringing awareness will help to break those generational curses. We see it, repeated generation after generation, and until we have these honest conversations and we bring things like ACEs into the conversation, then we can break those generational curses so that we can really address the needs of our communities and people individually. So I mentioned ACEs, which is
versus childhood experiences.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
I know you know.
That's right. That's right.
So tell me, why does I just don't understand that we have the research on ACEs, that it affects not only a person but even the growth and the developmental portion of their brains, and it's not known to the masses. Like, still so many people don't know what ACEs is. Can you guys just expand on that?
So there are several topics under ACEs when we talk about a person's environment, neglect, parent-sibling relationships. All those things lead to poor health outcomes. And the reason why those things lead to poor health outcomes is because it releases these things called toxic stress. And our bodies react to this stress. It's like revving up a car engine consistently, like vroom, 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 right? And so our bodies are not meant to operate in that fight or flight, that area. So, and when I talk about communities and mental health, that's one of the biggest things. Like, we need to fight and take back our communities where we have high violence and crime. When we talk about children in Baltimore having loved ones who are consistently killed and murdered or being subjected to violence, like, what does that do? I remember years ago, not many years ago, but maybe 10. I was getting an evaluation done, and the auditor was saying, like, some of the children that you talk to are saying that they think people are following them, or they frequently are anxious. I was like, well, if you live down here in this
Mhm.
community,
Come on.
it's not that they're anxious. It's a survival skill. Like, when you walk down the street at night, you turn around, you're watching to see who's behind you. And just imagine your body in that constant fight or flight mentality. And that's whether I'm going to run or if I'm going to fight. And imagine if you leave your home, right? And that fight or flight is in your home because you're dealing with abuse or neglect. And then it's in your community with the crime and violence. And then you go to school and it's in your school. Lack of resources, bullying, aggression, right? More fight or flight. So these children in our community are consistently bombarded with their emotional systems being highly activated. So that's one of the biggest things. So some of the resources or coping skills are like take a walk in nature, learn to process these feelings, meditation. But one of the real things that we can do is bring resources to our community, right? So we can
Yeah,
decrease this crime.
that's
So
right.
we can build better family relationships. Um,
Exactly.
so to me, that is the biggest way to combat ACEs.
Mm.
So I'm
Well,
sorry if I.
no, you were fine. That was awesome because you're right. And the more that we can be, and I say this on the show all the time, the more we can be be proactive versus being reactive, gives us a better opportunity to continue to break those generational curses and stop it just from happening. Period in our communities in a large in an abundance. Miss Green, did you want to chime in on that?
I love it. ACEs is real. I mean, if I couldn't say anything else, it's real. And again, it goes back to our awareness, making people aware that these things exist so we can stop hiding it, because that's what we do. I love that I work in the middle school and I'm able to kind of get them there. And of course, right now, what we're seeing from this pandemic and even prior to, the ages are getting younger and younger of anxiety and of depression. And the reason why I went into psychology and that kind of thing is because we're getting misdiagnosed, we're getting disciplined. And I love how she said the crime, like we're sending our kids to jail for things that has nothing to do with, don't get me wrong, crime is crime, but can we look at the whole child? Can we look deeper into where it's from? And that's what I want to do. I don't want to just, so when my kids come to my room because, hey, they had a bad day, I don't see the bad kid. I see, where is this really coming from? Because what? Because I wish somebody had done that for me. Growing up in Brooklyn, all that fight and flight, that came with me right on down to Maryland. I'm turning around like, hey, you too close, because that's how we grew up. I grew it. So they like, she rough, but really that's just what, like she talked about, those generational curses, those environmental stimulus that we grow up with. And I wanted to change the game here. And I started Treasure Jewels, which is my girls mentor program. And to tell you the truth, ladies, I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I was freeing myself and teaching them mental health. The overall goal of the program was, what would I have wanted in middle school in my make it or break it years? Ladies, I gave birth at 13 years old. My baby boy going to be 28 years old. So don't talk to me. Trauma. Been there, done that. Okay. 2 years later, his father was murdered. But I'm a living testimony. That's just the little beginning. That's why now, being a part of the Green Heart community and feeling like you have a home, that no longer can I keep my mouth shut. Because keeping this stuff inside, Dr. Sherwood says, you the prescription to somebody else's pain. I can't do no more. I can't be quiet anymore. And that's it. ACEs is real.
Wow. That you said a mouthful right there. You said a mouthful. So how can we spread the word? We're talking about it today about ACEs, but how can we get this mass message out to our communities and to individuals so that they can become aware of ACEs?
And you want me to grab that first, Miss Foster Dawson?
You
Okay.
go ahead.
We in this together.
Yeah.
Getting it out for me is, of course, I think about things by planting seeds. That's my nonprofit. Um, I know sometimes we can't reach the masses, but it's the little things that keep building up and building up. So what I like to do is I like to educate. I like to sit here and I'm going to tell you a story because I want you to see that it's real. I want you to see that you're not looking at somebody from TV. You are now looking at somebody who's been there and done that. So I want to educate you as much as possible. I want to educate you on your level. If you second grade, I'm going to talk to you about it on a second grade level. If you're an adult, I'm going to give it to you real on an adult level. But when you leave me, you're going to understand and you're going to be thinking like, wow, this is real. So I just believe in doing those community meetings. I'm kind of one of those people that it's like, oh, here goes Miss Green. I don't know what's she going to come out of her mouth. Every opportunity I get, any opportunity I get to talk about it. So that's what I'm just doing now is just creating these spaces, as Ms. Foster Dotson said, creating these little Zoom meetings, coaching, doing free sessions. I just did a session teaching people about procrastination. And again, talking about how you can go from distractions, learning how to manage your feelings, your relationships, your friendships, which all deal with your mental health. So we have to just keep going and don't stop. If we can save one, if we can spread the message to one, we've done our job.
Awesome. Well, we have a few comments that we want to share. Lady T Witt says, we really do. And she said, exactly, passing it on to our kids. So I'm sure we were discussing the generational curses at that point. And Miss Diane gave us plenty of green hearts. And she said, great information, ladies. And she said, yes. So something was resonated. And Daryl, one of our EWBI members, she says, violence changes who we are, especially children. Mental health can set us free of pain. Yes, that's so true. That's so true. And then Miss Diane says, exactly, you better speak. Dominique Brock, that might be one of my former mentees, I believe. She says, oh my goodness, wow, this is absolutely amazing. Green love, hashtag green love.
I like that, green love.
Right.
Yeah, I love the hashtag. All right.
Yeah.
Get into it, as the youth say. And Miss Diane says, excellent. So ladies, you're doing an excellent job already. And I think this is a good place for us to take a quick break. So everybody watching, stay tuned to Empowered Women in Business International Radio Show. Empowered Women in Business International. We serve a sisterhood of women entrepreneurs and professionals who understand that individually we could do great things, but collectively we can forever change the world. Members of our movement experience a support system that allows them to celebrate their wins and share their struggles in a series of opportunities that enhance them personally and professionally. If that sounds like an organization that you would like to be a part of, visit our website at www.ewbiradio.org. Are you a small business or even a person that's just thinking about starting a business? Well, this organization is right for you. We offer micro grants and we even highlight our members on our radio show, EWBI Radio, which airs on Elevate Your Life Talk Radio every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Tune in. Welcome back to Empowered Women in Business International Radio. So welcome back, ladies. Welcome. You guys are two powerhouses sharing some great information as it relates to mental health. So I was just thinking, I said, how important is allowing self-determination when we talk about mental health? And why is that so important?
Well, first of all, the concept of self-determination is one of our ethical values in social work. We have to understand that clients have the right to make their own choices. I always tell clients that I'm here, I'm your advocate, I'm your support system, I'll walk with you, but I'm not your decision maker, right? My job is just to give them the tools in order to make effective life decisions and to have them be able to control their emotional um, feelings and give them the tools to self-regulate, basically. That's my job. So people sometimes when they come to counseling, they think that my job is to give them my opinion, but it's really not. It's to teach you the tools so you can operate independently, and just provide, encouragement where I can. Self-determination is really important because it gives a person confidence. So your ability to make decisions for you, your family, right? If you're sitting around allowing me to make all your decisions, that's not empowering you. So the goal is for us to empower clients and give them the ability to make effective decisions, whereby that gives them confidence, and that confidence spills over into their job, their ability to make financial decisions and other life decisions. The only time where we are able to intercede with the concept of self-determination if someone's going to hurt themselves or someone else. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is trauma-informed care. When we get a chance to come back to it. I'm sorry.
Yes, we'll talk about that next. Did you want to add anything, Ms. Green?
She broke it down: self-determination, human motivation. That's our overall goal. Coaches, we're not giving you the answers. In any of our job, our goal is that we are good guiding you. We're guiding you to the things that's already there. That's our ultimate job, is to get you to be self-determined, to be motivated, to keep getting the help, to continue to find the resources. We just want you to be well.
Yeah. And also, too, a part of that is just being a person's accountability partner.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Yes.
Because and at the same time, like I tell my clients, you have to hold me accountable. So if I say I'm gonna have a resource for you, when we check back in on Thursday at 3:00, you're gonna be looking for your resource, right? So it's my job to be there too, and that's the biggest thing. Even sometimes when we're doing work, like we might want to call another coworker or someone to just help keep us accountable, to give us that shared space and that shared sense of support.
I love that, because I just was talking about accountability, and again, it goes back to, I believe everyone should have someone that's going to hold us accountable, especially to being great, to getting help. So accountability, that should be like our words. I should have that in the back, like accountability and self-determination. I might be ladies. I think you started something.
But like the concept of accountability is uncomfortable for some people.
Come on now.
Yeah. Like
it really is.
Yeah, if you never had to be held accountable for your actions before, and when someone does that to you, sometimes that can elicit anger. When I do therapy, I do a lot of work with like the anger iceberg, and sometimes I substitute it with anxiety. So it's like, well, what's under that feeling of anger? Why are you angry at me right now? Oh, okay, let's talk. You feel uncomfortable. Okay. you don't like being corrected, or you don't like being held accountable for your actions. So that's one of the biggest things and hardest things to do about our job sometimes.
I think it's true, Ms. Foster Cotton. Accountability, it's like an investment. People don't want to put the investment. You want to see what happens afterwards. You want the result, but you don't want to make that investment, because sometimes that accountability, it costs money. I'm just going to keep it real. We can't always have a free accountability, whatever that looks like. Even if it's just getting a coach or somebody to talk, somebody to help you lose weight. And that's when I was just talking about it, because some ladies, you want to know how I lost the weight. You want to know why I'm so determined, but you don't want to make the investment. You really don't want to be held accountable. So I can't take the donut from your mouth. That's what Ms. Foster said. I can't do it for you. I'm here to guide you. And they don't want to make the investment because of the stigma. Just stick on that accountability. You want to be in my business. You need the help. I needed the help. And I'm grateful that I learned that I needed someone. And I'm very grateful. Even if it's a business coach, the accountability, somebody's going to push you forward. And again, we just want you to be the best version of yourself.
Let me tell you, I had a situation where someone had mentioned to me that they were trying to start a business and they had all of the tools that they needed. And so I said, no problem. I said, I'll call and check on you. So I started calling, and I called, I gave her timelines, and I called her after 2 weeks. And she was like, I didn't do anything yet, but I promise I'm going to have it done. I said, look, you don't have to make promises to me. You make those promises to yourself.
Come on now.
I said, because, at the end of the day, this is about you. You told me that you wanted to do this, right? And so we went on for about maybe like a month and a half, and nothing was being done. And so I said, listen, I'm here for you whenever you need me. But you have to, it's just like with, with drugs or anything. Like, you have to take that first step and say, it's me. Like, you have to tell yourself that you are ready for this journey. And until you tell yourself that you're ready for this journey, you're not going to be ready for the journey. So once you change that way you're thinking, that stinking thinking, once you change it, then you can, but it is more than just having an accountability partner. Is you having to have to take that first step to hold yourself accountable as well.
Yeah. But and that's the uncomfortable part, right? Because in order to participate in therapy, you have to be stretched.
Yes, you got to be uncomfortable.
You got to be uncomfortable. And so oftentimes some people want to come and just sometimes people want to come to therapy. My first thing that I always do is I teach you skills, right? I'm going to teach you how to self-regulate. I'm going to teach you how to take deep breaths. I'm going to teach you how to refocus, like what works for you. I'm going to teach you coping skills. Whatever works for you, we're going to work together. We're going to explore those things. Because sometimes when people want to get into the heart and that process of being stretched, that hurts. So it's kind of irresponsible for me as a clinician to take you through that process and not have you have the skills to self-regulate yourself. It's like, have you ever, I'm quite sure we all have drunk a soda, right? And it's been shaken up, right? So, and you really want to drink this soda, right? Imagine like a soda with like the chunks of ice is all nice and cold. You just really ready to drink it, right? The water sliding all down the bottom. You just ready to drink it. So how do we get
on
that
a hot day?
Yeah. So how do we get that top off the bottle without it exploding? Right. And so that's how I think of therapy sometimes when people have traumatic events. And so for some people, you have to let that bottle just sit, right?
Settle down.
But you know how like you take the top and you twist it just a little and it goes.
Oh, now you got me thirsty. I want to pass.
and then you close it back, right? And then you.
Come on now.
And so you keep going and you're building that resistance. You're letting that acid out. And so that's what we do in therapy. And that's how I think of it, like the stretching process. I'm just twisting that bottle. So when I'm teaching you deep breathing and when I'm telling you some self-care techniques or we're listening to music, that's me twisting that top, right? And then we just close it back and we keep going until eventually that top comes off. So thank you. I didn't make it up. I heard it before.
That's good.
But that example resonated with me. And it also kind of got my practice of how I work with people in the community, especially people who cope or are dealing with trauma.
That's good. I had a recent situation. I'm gonna give you this 1 minute story, and I was in a committee for implicit bias, right? And I say this because we talking about trauma, but this was something that was so new, and we talked about it. And the only reason why I said because that analogy, when we were done, I got a phone call from one of the members who was on fire. Like I think her top exploded. what she said to me opened up my eyes. She said, why would they take us there and leave us there? And I said, that's because nobody's educated them on what this conversation really does. And I had to spend time. I was so grateful. Let me say that I had the tools to help her get back that top little by little. But I never knew that was, I guess me, because I have a few tools so I can control it a little bit. That conversation took this young lady to a place, and that's all she kept saying was, I couldn't believe they didn't know how to take us to a better place. That when we got up, she said, it's probably going to take me hours to mentally get it off my mind.
And that's what I was alluding to about trauma-informed care. And even the way that we educate or deal with people in anything, not just our community, but all communities. Just provide, like, even like with AA, right? A lot of people say AA helps them, but a lot of people, that's just not the tool for them because it leads to trauma. Like some person that has been through trauma, they might not want to admit that they're helpless.
Absolutely.
Right? For me to say that I'm helpless, that might hurt me because I've been to a place where I've been really helpless before. So for me to say that is hard. And so because of that, I can't even submit myself or get myself even in line with the guiding principles of AA, right?
Really?
So, because that's like the first step, right?
Yep, it is admitting.
So
yep,
I'm helpless. And so some people with that who have been hurt and abused, it is really hard for them to say that they are helpless. And sadly, a lot of people who have been abused in their life may engage in substance use, right? So the intervention that's actually used for substance abuse, right, or use, has a person that's been through trauma admitting that they are helpless. But it's all in how you look at it. So like you said, even when we are doing certain tasks of educating professionals, children, or people in the community, we have to find a way to make sure we can put that top back on.
Yes, come on.
Slowly take it off, close it, close it up some more. It might take 1 or 2 meetings, but the process of not, like you said, leaving someone in that space where they are feeling anxious or uncomfortable or reliving hurt.
Right. So I'm glad you brought up trauma-informed care, because after talking about ACEs, I definitely wanted us to kind of seal that, to add that piece to it. Sorry, I'm doing 2 things at once. Someone asked if we had a call-in number, Tracy, and I don't believe so, but if you type your comment, we'll be sure to answer your question or share your concern. So why don't we go to a few of our comments, and then we'll come back to our conversation. So we saw the accountability, and then Coach Daryl Wharton says, yes, I can teach, but my clients have to apply the action. That's right. And then Miss Diana gave the laughing emoji, and she also says, great visual. She's talking to you, Foster, when you was talking about the soda. Having us.
Yeah.
I was ruling a little bit on that one.
But I had to make it real because you had to visualize those chunks of ice in the soda when you want to drink it.
Yeah.
You had to see it.
Made it very clear. Like I just had my Pepsi right here.
I did too.
And I don't even drink soda no more.
I gotta run past the Royal Farm now. Okay, I might just keep that sip
make sure you get the cup of ice because they have the best ice.
They do. Chewable ice. Oh, come on now. We on a whole nother level.
Royal Farm and hospital ice, man. Tracy Price said, "Real talk." And
hey, Tracy.
I hope you heard about the call-in number. So please text us or send us your message so that we can answer your question or just share your comment. And Diana said, yes, the best ice. So we talked about a lot today. We talked about ACEs, trauma informed care. We talked about self determination. Is there any big piece that we're missing that you guys want us to touch on? And while you guys are thinking, I'll go to Tracy Price's question. It says it is important to find the right therapist. Yes, because not everybody is that right therapist. I began therapy the first time after my fiance died. It was not the right time, group, or pastoral counselor. I now see a therapist due to my ongoing health trauma. Yes, so she brings out a very good point. It's almost like a shoe size. Just because that's your shoe size doesn't mean that you can wear that physical shoe. And it's so important for us to find that perfect fit. And just because they might have the credentials don't necessarily mean that they're the right person to counsel or to be your therapist. She also said it is difficult as an educator because we are not always informed about our student trauma. So I'm going to agree with you, Tracy. I have a mentoring group, and we got all of these children for a summer camp that I was hosting. And the first day, the girl came in and turned over the desk and threw the papers and was like non-compliant. And of course, after a while, I got to know who she was and what was going on and what her story was. And actually, she had just came home from baby bookings the day like 2 days before. She didn't want to be there. They was making her come, and nobody told me anything. She had lost her mom, living with her dad. It was just like one thing after another. Like, I mean, her ACE score probably was through the roof, but nobody cared to share this information with me. They just sent her to our program. And by the time we finished, she was, she was a totally different child. The camp was only 6 weeks. So just think if it had been a longer process to give her, I almost felt bad with kind of leaving her there, because that's sort of like what you were sharing earlier. Like, you get a person to a certain point, and the funds run out or the program ends, and then it's like, what's the next step for that person? They're making so much progress, and there was not a next step for her at the time, because the summer camp ended, and now it's time for her to go back to school. So what do you do in that case, even when you are seeing your actual client in your office and you're at a place where you're just getting them to open up and share, but your hour or hour and a half is over with? What do you do at that point?
So that's always been difficult. Like, so in my private practice, if I don't have another session, I could sit for an extra 30 minutes, right? Or just to give you that time. But also clinically, it's knowing when your client is being stretched.
Come on now.
Right. So I'm getting to, so we're going to touch something. And I'm like, okay, so let's stop here. Right. And let's try to get you back to baseline. Because the goal is, because those memories are never going to go away. Right. It's how you perceive them, which changes. Is how your emotional regulation changes when you talk about those things. It's the perception of what it was before, and what does it mean to you now, then, and what does it mean to you now. But then I know, Taylor K, you touched on your client had some complex trauma. So when you have people who dealing with multiple traumas, that, I mean, 45 minutes in a session is just not going to cure all of that. But one thing I also had to learn in my practice is setting boundaries. Mm-hmm. So did somebody just snap?
That was me. Sorry. until you see it on
No,
I
Zoom.
was
no,
snapping in my
listen.
head, so you're okay. I was doing it in
Listen.
my head.
I snap all the time, don't I,
Okay,
Sarah
okay.
Cat? So you're right at home. So but setting boundaries with them, and that's just not for a billing issue, but that's a life issue or a life skill. So knowing when, okay, so you're being stretched. Okay, let's get you back to baseline. Can you come back tomorrow? Can I call and check on you in the next 2 hours when this next person comes in? So it changes when you're no longer in a private practice, because now I have multiple people who I'm responsible for, but also still providing that outlet without becoming the intervention. And I'm just going to say this. Some people who are in the helping profession turn themselves into the intervention. And that makes the client dependent on you. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to teach them and help to build them. So even when I'm stopping appropriately, right, and I'm getting you back to baseline, you still had to go home and go about your day and still regulate those emotions and cope with that process. Right. You just can't sit with me the entire 2 hours because I'm becoming that intervention. I'm not the coping skill.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm a support, but not the coping skill.
And that's where that self-determination, making sure that they're able to make those decisions for themselves. That's right.
Yes. And it comes from us. Like I love how she said, we got to know when. That's why this is maybe not for everyone. Whether you an advocate, whether I'm on my way to being a therapist, you got to know, you're getting to know the client, and you got to know when. So like she said, I'm not going to touch on something. Like she said, hey, this one's going to take us to a deeper place. But if I'm paying attention to time and stuff, I'm not going to give it to you with 10 minutes coming on. So that's why this profession is not for everybody. It's great that you're learning how to be an advocate, but again, if it's not the right fit, because you talked about what's the piece that we missing. Well, thank you to Tracy, because those are the pieces that we're missing. Just in our profession, we can't save every client. We have to make sure even that we're the right fit for the client. Just like the client is looking at us, we need to be looking like, wait, they may need to go see this kind of clinical or this person. Or for me, I'm a coach and advocate. I'm on my way one day. I can't wait to work with you, Ms. Dotson. But again, so if I see that this person is there as a coach, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to coach you through these, right now to get you where you need to be. But in the process, I'm looking for your resource, because that's not the client that I need. You need this different type of help, so that was one. And then she talked about the educator. That's the story of our life. Not knowing the information, getting the kid to where they need to be, and got to send them home every day to the same situation. And I talk about that plant and seed, that every day I have to think about it as a day one. Every day I'm going to go ahead and get right back on track, and I'm going to see you as this human that has to go home to this same situation. And so again, given the right tools and the resources, but like she said, I can't be the intervention. You can't call me at 10 o'clock at night. I got to be able to make sure you have those resources, because sometimes we have this serving heart, especially if you into, religion, you have this heart, you want to save, you want to serve, but then those boundaries come in. And Ms. Dotson, you hit it on the nail. I love talking about boundaries. I just did a panel the Saturday about self-care. And so everybody on the panel was saying, self-care, they were creating gardens and they were working out. And I'm doing, all those little things too. But when they asked me what was self-care, I said, my self-care during the pandemic was setting boundaries. My self-care was saying no. My self-care was learning the type of procrastinator I was, so I can stop serving everybody else and saving everybody else and leaving my stuff to the end when I got things to do. That was a part of my self-care, and a part of my mental was creating those boundaries. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because those were the big pieces that we missed in this thing called mental health as we are serving people. Don't forget, we clients too, and we still have to make sure we're taking care of our stuff on our side.
Can't pour from an empty yeah. So my husband says, great show as usual, and knowledge is power. Kalina says, I'm not the coping skill. Yes. I feel like we should be.
Congratulations, Damon.
Clap it up there.
And she also said exactly, gave a green heart, and yes, with the So as we dwindle down, I do want to get to because we have to have a part 2 one of these days, ladies, because this is just so much great information, so important. But I do want to get to your individual ventures and just talk a little bit about Miss Green, if you want to talk a little bit about Green Heart mental health, as well as some of your individual projects.
You got it. I'll do about 3 minutes. Green Heart Community, look it up. Miss Colleen Diana, I'm so grateful for her. Wonderful, wonderful woman in this mental health area and doing some great things. She's a great teacher and coach, and she has a great coaching company teaching you how to be advocates. And I just want to say congratulations to her because she is doing a university, taking this thing to another level. Get in contact with her. Again, you don't, even if you're not the psychologist yet, this is the first start because it not only helped me inside, it helped me to be able to help others. So I just want to say shout out to Colleen Diana, the Green Heart Community. Look it up on Facebook, Instagram. Super awesome. As for me, check out a couple of my books. I got a couple book projects with Cheryl Wood. I Am a Victor. I have my book, Pretty to be Dark Skinned. I have Woman Crushing Mediocrity and Girl on Fire. So I'm definitely surrounded around some wonderful queens right now in the industry when it comes to speaking and writing. My company is The Wellness Purse. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. And I create that company based off of a purse that we stuff our purse with everything, but our purse don't break. That's what we do to our mind, bodies, and souls. So The Wellness Purse, check me out there right now. I got a 6-week program coming up where not only do I teach you about eating, but I teach you the mental part that's connected to why we eat so that you can actually get rid of the weight for good. So that's a great thing. And my next project, thank you guys for giving me a minute, is called What Goes On in My House Stays in My House. That drops June 22nd. It's an anthology. Those stories in this anthology is going to blow your mind. But if you know those words, and you know what I'm talking about. So stay tuned for that. And volume 2, I'm going to be doing an author call coming up soon, where I'll be looking for some more authors, and it entails a workshop where I'll even teach you how to, again, properly, Ms. Dotson, start working on how to get this story out, because it is a process, Ms. Dotson. It was not, oh, let me just go write the story. I literally had to coach these women who were going through that trauma again, but knew they were committed to it. So my first project, I didn't do a lot of people because I knew it was going to be intimate. So again, Goes On in My House Stays in My House, breaking my silence for my sanity.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing. And how can they get in contact with you one more time, Miss Green?
I'm at The Wellness Purse on Instagram, Facebook at Just Mimi 1979. Mahisa Green, you see my name up there. Find me. Check out the website. Though, go straight to the website. Subscribe to thewellnesspurse.com. You will be intrigued by what's up there. So find me.
And Green Heart University.
Green Heart University is here. Green Heart Community. Colleen Diana. Find her. Get in contact. Follow us. She has some great things coming up. Green Heart University. I am way too excited about this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Ms. Foster Dotson, could you share with us some of the great things that you have? That's like really in play right now.
Well, first of all, let me just say I am excited for everything that Ms. Green is about to do and is doing. I'm ready. So I'm just loving it. And congratulations.
Thank you.
So, as I stated previously, I went from a private practice. Now I'm an outpatient mental health clinic. And in a few weeks, I will be opening up an outpatient substance abuse treatment center as well. So I'll be able, thank you so much. So I will be able to provide mental health counseling and substance abuse counseling for individuals. I'm also in, like I said, the York Road Cold Spring area, and I'm so excited. And recently I have been added to the advisory board of Loyola Clinical Centers. So thank you. So I'm excited for all the work that they're going to do in the community and that I'm going to do as well. So those are some things that we'll be doing.
Ms. Dotson, I'm going to need a place to intern. I'm putting it out there into the world right now. So I'm going to be...
Let me tell you, she is the best. She is the best. Every time I tell somebody, I always have to tell them, look, go look her up. Hopefully she'll have room for you. But when I tell you that, man, she's the best. She is the best.
In the right place.
Tell them your website and your phone number, Ms. Foster Dotson.
My website is www.inspiringchangemhs.org, where we inspire and change one day at a time. And my phone number is 410-699-3738. Once again, that's 410-699-3738. You can also find me on Facebook at Inspire and Change MHS.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys have some great things going on, and we definitely have to have you guys come back, and we'll have Miss Diana even join us.
Yes.
So that we can really have a great panel and a powwow. She says that she's so proud of you guys. She's posting away. She put your Cold Spring, the address. She's been posting the wellnesspurse.com. Congratulations. Nicole Bennett Jones says, congratulations, ladies. And Rhonda says, great show and beneficial for so many. Good mental health has a whole new meaning as we all managed to live during a pandemic. Yes, that is so true. We didn't even get to touch on COVID and the pandemic. I think Miss Green mentioned it, but we didn't even really get to touch on that part. So that is so true. So true.
It also, Miss Taylor K, I forgot to mention that I also teach a workshop called Self-Disclosure. So basically what that does is it teach mental health professionals or anyone in the mental health arena of how to share your story in a way that's trauma informed. Because our story is what brings us to what we do. We're here because our personal experience, something or someone has touched us, and that experience has made us want to come. But how do we share that story without traumatizing our clients?
That's right. Tracy Price says, I'm beginning an advocate group as well, so she will be in touch. So I'm not sure which person she'll be in touch with, but one of you three, it sounds like all three are good powerhouse to connect with. So
hey Tracy.
Looking forward to it.
Yes. So thank you, ladies, for being on. You've been amazing. Thank you. So thank you guys for tuning in this evening. Our audience has been great. You've been giving us feedback. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Visit our website at www.ewbiradio.org. Also visit us on social media. Empowered Women in Business International on Facebook and EWB_INT on Instagram. Don't forget to check out our members page. So on our www.ewbiradio.org, we have a members page with a directory. All of our members are business owners, and it tells you what they do and how to get in contact with them. So if you are looking for a service or an item, maybe a piece of clothing, jewelry, a bookkeeper, we have a little bit of everything. If you have clutter in your house, we have somebody that will come and remove your junk. So we have a little bit of everything for everybody. So visit our website again at www.ewbiradio.org. So don't forget to tune in every Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here on Elevate Your Life Talk Radio, and you will find Empowered Women in Business International. Our rebroadcast is also every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. on Alexa, Google, and internet radio, Elevate Your Life Talk Radio. So that's it for tonight. We're going to close as we always do. Thank you all for tuning in to Empowered Women in Business International. Don't forget to keep it locked every Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here. And individually, we can do great things, but collectively, we can forever change the world by Nick Mosby. Have a wonderful week, everyone.